Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to play Star Trek Captain's Chair. We'll be using the To Boldly Go set. As a reminder, this is a standalone box, so you do not need the original core box in order to utilize this one. However, if you do have Second Contact, you will need either this set or the other core set in order to actually use that Second Contact. But anyway, we're going to jump into To Boldly Go again. I recently published my Kirk Cadet video, and it was okay. I made mistakes, but it's going to be another one of those exploratory videos. What do I mean by that? Well, it's in the sense that I've never played this particular deck before. Today we'll be looking at the Archer deck. So I have no experience with this. I have no idea how he plays. I don't know what the strategies are. An exploratory game to me is like, let's try it out. Let's explore it a bit, see what's there. My score is not going to be great, but it'll be a cool way to see all the different cards and discover synergies and all that stuff. So don't expect like strategic, jaw-dropping gameplay here. This is going to be more of like an exploratory thing. So I don't expect my score to be all that high, to tell you the truth. But we'll see. The Archer complexity is actually higher than Kirk. So I've got my work cut out for me this time. What's interesting with Archer is that he starts off with a status. So it's Earth, and it says, during your cleanup step, you may beam a non-directive card here from your hand or staging area. If it shares no traits with your captain, gain 1 diplomacy and place a victory or a glory there. After discarding a directive during your action step, place 1 dilithium or gold pressed latinum here. As a passive, a ship can be warped here. Cards beamed here cannot be recalled or dismissed, not even when contributing to a mission. So it seems like I can beam cards here, I just can't beam them off, if I'm understanding that correctly. So my goal might be grab score cards I don't intend to use, beam them to Earth, and just keep them there. I guess it's just like, it's another way of logging a card, except it's going to be on Earth. I don't know yet what the difference is between logging a card on your captain and then putting it here to be stuck here. Maybe there's something going on somewhere else that might utilize Earth and beaming cards here. I don't know. Again, this is why we're going to try it and, discover it. And as I always say, I'm here to spread awareness, have fun, and show off games anyway. So it'll be a really cool test. You also start off with the NX-01, the Enterprise, and it seems to play just like any other ship. Its play effect is deploy this ship. You may exhaust a duty officer to warp a ship. And then activation, there's a bunch of things here. Promoting, warping, beaming, and all that. And that's all there is here as far as I can tell. This is weird to me. There's only 5 available cards. So like my starting hand is just the 5 cards that would be in my draw pile. It's so strange. You do start off with this in your discard pile, per this little red area down here. It says discard. But yeah, this is something we'll be drawing later. But for right now, it is in our discard pile, and we start the game with our hand of cards here. Before we do that, let's just go through this one at a time, just in case I might miss something. We'll start with the resupply step. I'm looking for a resupply, and I do see resupply on Archer's card. Let's take a look at it. If you have a deployed ship, which I do, and 3+ resources at Earth, I don't. You may exhaust this card to gain 3 resources from Earth. Okay, interesting. And at the end of the game, score 1 point for every 3 unique traits you have in play. Okay, interesting. I don't know if I'm going to score well on that, but we'll see. But so I need to have 3 or more resources on Earth. So I need to get resources here. And if I remember right, I can gain resources here. After discarding a directive during your action step, place a dilithium or gold pressed latinum here. So it seems like that would count toward that. Also, there's also during this cleanup step, I can place a glory here. I believe that might also count as a resource. I'd have to probably look that up. But I'm going to just count it as such until I find out otherwise. So yeah, there are ways to generate resources on Earth. So I'm going to want to try and do that if I can. So, all right, let's take a look at the 5 cards. Well, let's resupply. No. Control. No, we can't control any locations. And then our actions. This is where the cards come in. So these are the only 5 available cards that we have. So I guess we'll go through them. Shuttle Pod 1. Send an away team to a location where you have a ship. You may either beam a card to a ship or recall a card beamed to a ship. Okay, so this might be a good way to get an away team somewhere. Faith of the Heart. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of theme song stuff here. Exhaust your captain to scan for NX-01. That is, okay, so earlier, like in a previous unboxing episode, I'm like, Archer doesn't start with Mayweather or Hoshi Sato or like Reed, and they're all in the people deck. So I'm like, okay, I'm guessing there's a way to get them, and I guess this is it. So I can exhaust my captain to scan for NX-01 people. Put the gain card on top of your reserve deck. Also, I can look at the top 2 cards of your reserve deck, put them on top or bottom in any order. You may promote a person with Starfleet from your hand or staging area to duty officer. Okay. Also, Strength of the Soul. Here we go with that theme song. Draw a directive encounter from your discard pile. You may enlist a reserve or development. You may take an incident and exhaust your captain to draw a card for every 2 control locations you have in play. Recruit, put a card on top of your deck to gain a person, or take an incident to gain an ally. And then Tucker. Okay, so he's the only person we actually have on our deck right now. Gain a cargo from the top of your deck, or top of the deck, to either log it and gain a dilithium, or put it on top of your reserve deck and gain a dilithium on Earth. Okay, so that's another way of getting resources on Earth. Activation, refresh a ship or cargo. Reaction, this is if he's a duty officer. After dismissing a ship, discard a directive to draw it from your discard pile. So I remember there was a card that, what was it? Discarding a directive? Yeah, so Tucker synergizes with Earth because if I promote him to duty officer and dismiss a ship by maybe, I don't know where I would dismiss a ship, but if I did, discard a directive to draw it from your discard pile. Okay, so I'm guessing if I discard this directive here, then this kicks in after discarding a directive. So I'm guessing those 2 synergize. But I still think, I don't know what she's laughing at, but she's playing Heroes of the Storm up there, I think. Anyway, but I still want him as his play effect because like I can gain cargo for free and like gain dilithium and put it on Earth that way. So I'm not sure yet where I want to go with him. Do I want to put him as a duty officer or do I want to use him for his effect? I don't know. So the first thing I may want to do is I want to free play stuff first. So maybe Faith of the Heart. Exhaust your captain to scan for NX-01. Put the gain card on top of your reserve deck. So this is a free thing. Well, do I want to promote Trip, though, to a duty officer by doing this bottom half? I don't think I want to promote him yet. Because I don't see myself dismissing my ship anytime soon. So I'm going to do the top half. So I'm going to do that. And exhaust your captain. I'm using, these did not come with the game. These are shield tokens from Star Trek Armada. Star Trek Attack Wing. Star Wars Armada, I'm confusing my minis. Star Trek Attack Wing, there we go. These are shield tokens that I'm not using. So I'm going to put that there to exhaust him to scan for NX-01. Put the gained card on top of your reserve deck. Okay, so we're going to do that. So I know based on this sheet here that all of the NX-01s are in the people area. So I'm just going to keep drawing until I discover one. So I'm just going to NX-01, NX-01, NX-01. Okay, we got Travis Mayweather there. So that's who we got. Oh, I think I have to shuffle these. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to shuffle these. Again, I play loosey-goosey, so it's going to drive people nuts. But I'm going to go ahead and put that. Oh, I have to just shuffle everything in. I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to shuffle everything in. Okay. There we go. Everything's nice and shuffled now. So people shouldn't complain too loud. So this says to put the gained card on top of your reserve deck. So that's where it's going over here. Interesting. All right, anything else? No. Okay, so I've got 4 cards and all of them have some kind of like spend an isolinear chip action thing, except draw a directive or encounter from your discard pile. I could play that to draw Analyze, take an incident to gain a ship, or put 2 cards, discard 2 cards to gain a cargo. So what if I could discard a card to get this to kick in, and I can put a resource here. Should I do that? Yeah, because I don't see myself playing this one. Okay, so this is the discard pile. Man. Okay, yeah, I have no idea. Let's do it. Just to see what happens. Okay, so draw a directive encounter from your discard pile. So I'm gonna free play that. Just the top action there. Draw it from my discard pile. Okay, well there it is. I'm gonna draw Analyze. It is a directive, so I can do that. Okay, now I'm gonna do the bottom effect. Well, actually, gain 2 dilithium is really good too. But discard 2 cards to gain a directive. If I can discard this directive, then I would gain a resource for Earth. But then I'd have to discard something else as well. And I don't know. Yeah, then I wouldn't have all my actions. All right, so maybe I don't do that right away. Let's just do the bottom half here, which is just gain 2 dilithium. So I'm going to do the bottom one and just gain 2 dilithium. So rather than go with the Earth route, I'm going to just gain dilithium and bank it. And then I still have, so I can just do 3 actions here with these 3 cards. So this one is gain a cargo from the top of the deck and either log it and gain 1 dilithium, or put it on top of your reserve deck and gain a dilithium on Earth. Okay, let's try that. The question now becomes, do we want to... I can either blind draw, but I'd rather take a look at this first. So this is Ongoing, Augment, and Klingon. Spend 3 dilithium and 1 gold press latinum to deploy this card. Gain 2 tactical down here for my victory points. If your captain is Klingon, take an... I don't think I'm going to use this. It does have this blue ribbon though, so for endgame scoring I think that's going to be really good to have. So I'd rather like log it or beam it here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to okay, actually yeah, so gain a cargo from the top of the deck and either log it and gain a dilithium, or put it on top of your reserve deck. I don't think I'm going to use that. I'm just going to log it for the sole purpose of getting this ribbon for endgame scoring. And I'm just going to, put it under here. There we go. And then a new one comes out. Okay, that's 1 action. Then, what if I want to get, I'm going to, I think, activate the Enterprise. I'm going to warp the ship somewhere over here. Do I want Cold Station 12? Do I want Ryza or Delta Vega? Find up to 3 people as a control action, except in your reserve deck, and beam them here. Oh, interesting. Beam a person here, recall a... Okay, so I can gain gold press latinum by beaming people to Ryza, which I may want to do. Cold Station 12, you may beam a card from your hand or discard pile here when I control it. You may spend a dilithium to recall a card from here. After discarding a card during your action step, beam the discard... Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to do Ryza because that sounds confusing to me. I'm trying to keep it stupid simple. So we'll do Ryza there. I'm going to activate it and spend the dilithium to do that. Okay. And, okay, so that was just an activation here. After discarding a directive. Yeah, I don't think I can do that this turn. Okay, so I'm going to play this one. Send an away team to a location where you have a ship. You may either beam a card to a ship or recall a card beamed to a ship. I don't think I want to do that part of it, but I'm just going to action, send an away team to a location. Now, I only have 2 away teams to start, so like I really need to commit one way or another. I don't want to split my away teams at all. And there's the last one here. Put a card on top of your deck to gain a person or take an incident to gain an ally. Well, I thought I should have thought of that. I want a person because she has a blue ribbon, but gaining an ally by taking an incident. Gain a cargo, log this card, requires 3 science, scan 3 of cargo. It's 3 points. I mean, it's not terrible. And I can log it later. Scan 3 of cargo, log this. Yeah, I'm going to be logging this card anyway, so it's not going to be out for very long. So part of me just wants to take an incident to gain an ally, but my issue is I don't have any reliable ways of getting rid of incidents right now, at least as far as I can tell. So, yeah, well, I'm just going to do it just to keep this video moving. I'm going to do this to take an incident to take an ally. Now, I could blind draw as well, but the nice thing about the binars here is I know they're going away. They're not going to clog up my hand. They have this alien thing. Wasn't there a thing? Something about... I was reading something somewhere where you... for every 3 unique traits you have in play. I don't think logged cards are considered in play. So I could beam it to a ship and keep it there, and then technically it's in play. But I'd have to do that for the entire game, and I know the Enterprise is going away at some point. Yeah, I think just getting this card and then logging it for 3 points isn't a bad thing, terribly. Whether or not it's worth an incident, I don't know. Again, I could just blind draw, but I hate doing that. I hate blind drawing because I don't know what I'm going to get. But the binars, though, I mean, gain a cargo. I mean, scan 3 of cargo. Yeah. Here's the thing. Can I do this? Gain a cargo. Would I want to gain a cargo? Requires 4 science. Requires 6, whatever the heck that is. Regenerate 1 what? What is that? I've never seen this symbol before. Is that a Borg thing? Regenerate 1 something and you may send Borg to... I bet you this is a setup for a Borg thing later. That's interesting. Okay. I would probably blind draw the cargo because I don't... Yeah. You know what? I'm going to blind draw. This is probably a bad idea. A red squadron ally. Okay. Draw 2 cards and discard 1 of the drawn cards. You may beam a card from your staging area to a ship. Can be this card. You may warp a ship. Okay, so I can warp ships with him, which isn't terrible. He's worth 3 points. Attack play requires 3 of that yellow diplomacy, though, which I don't have. Okay, so it's not terrible. When I gain a card, I either put it on top of my deck or into my discard. I'm going to put it into my discard pile for right now. But yeah, everything is now played. I mean, there's nothing really else I can do here. So I think we're going to move to the cleanup step. Resolve the Stardate card. Which one am I going to want out of all of this? I think I might want her only because of that blue ribbon down there. So I'm gonna prioritize cards with ribbons on them. That's one thing I didn't do with Kirk, and I think that really hurt my score. So I want to focus on cards that have that ribbon. And then we have to discard a card too. Let's get rid of this Borg cargo thing. We should have taken the binars and then discarded this, but I wasn't thinking. Okay. And then Place Glory did that. We did that. Discard and draw. Okay, so we're going to clean up here. We're going to refresh. Okay, so we'll put that off to the side here. Good. Okay, so all of these go into the discard pile. Okay, so now I have to draw 5 cards for my new hand, but I don't have any cards in my draw pile, so I'm going to draw 1 from my reserve, and then 1... Did I take the incident? I did not take the incident, did I? That would have gone into my hand, right? And I would have discarded it. So it's let me shuffle these all back together. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I almost forgot. That 1 card I played required me to take an incident to gain an ally, which I forgot to do. So here's my new draw pile there, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. One of these is the reserve card from here. And I need to resupply, which if you have a deployed ship, I do. 3 resources on Earth, I don't. So Archer's ability not going to kick in right now. Control, no, I'm not controlling anything. And then, yeah, now we're back to this. Okay, so we have Mayweather, we've got Trip. We did not draw that incident. So what does Mayweather do? Select a ship and warp it. I should have waited on that, but oh well. You may spend 2 dilithium to send an away team to its location. You may exhaust your captain to send an away team to the same location. So I could exhaust Archer just to... But here's the thing. Select a ship and warp it. I'm required to do that. I don't want to warp it, though. So I don't think I can really use this. He has a reaction. After deploying a ship, you take an incident to gain an action. You may warp... Nah, I don't like that. Okay, I might file him under only when I need to move the ship. So, or maybe discard him for something else. Draw. You may enlist a reserve or development. You may take an incident. That's if I do that. Okay. Wow. There's just a lot. What if I just free play him? Draw 2 cards and discard one of the drawn cards. You may beam a card from your staging area to a ship. Can be this card. You may warp a ship. What if I play... Okay, so follow me on this one. Follow me on this one. I'm going to use him first to warp the Enterprise away, then warp him back to use Mayweather's ability. You may exhaust your captain to send an away team to that same location. So maybe I do that. However, I only have 2 dilithium. What's my goal? Have the NX-01 and an away team at a secured neutral location. Have 1 person on the NX-01 Enterprise and at least 4 dilithium. So I need to beam someone here, a person. So maybe I get Mayweather beamed there to prepare for that. I don't think I can get 2 dilithium in this turn, though, can I? I mean, Trip can get me 1, probably. I could have sworn... So don't I have another card that gets me dilithium? I don't think I drew it, though. Yeah. So let's do this. We're going to use him to draw 2 cards and discard one of the drawn cards. So I'm going to free play him, draw 2 cards, discard one of the 2 cards. So I think I'm going to discard the hostile contact. Although, if I discard the directive, I can put a resource on Earth. Do I want to use this? I do want to gain resources. So I think, again, I'm going to forego the whole Earth thing and keep this and discard this. Because I could have discarded this and that would have kicked in and I would have gotten a resource there if I read that right. I'm going to keep this one. Then it says, you may beam a card from your staging area to a ship. Can be this card. So I played him and I can now beam him there. You may warp a ship. This is an ally, so like that does not satisfy the condition for my history with every light year goal that I'm trying to get done. But it does clean up my deck a bit. It does it does thin it out. The ability though to draw a card, then discard a card, then warp him, I kind of want to keep that around. Being able to draw an extra card for free is a really good one. So I want to keep him in play, I think. Like keep him in rotation. But I can now play this to gain 2 dilithium, right? Now, you may warp a ship. So what if I warped the Enterprise here? Okay, bear with me. I'll come back to that. But let's go ahead and just gain 2 dilithium with this card here. It's a free action. So we're going to gain 2 dilithium. Great. And now Mayweather. Again, I can free play this. Select a ship and warp it. Now I can do this because I can now warp it back if I free play him, right? You may spend 2 dilithium to send an away team to its location. I don't think I want to do that. You may exhaust your You may exhaust your captain to send an away team to the same location. So that's a free play. So I'm going to exhaust my captain to send an away team to the same location. So now I need to get a person there, which I think I can. Oh, but if I do that, then maybe I don't do this now. Can I beam a card here and still get another? Can I beam a card here without losing a dilithium to do it? That's going to be the tough part. Can I do it? I'm trying really hard because now it says spend a dilithium to beam a card here. Does it have to come from my hand? Does a beamed card, can it come from my staging area? Let's find out. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it has to come from your hand. Take a card from your hand unless specified otherwise. Yes. So in order to beam a card, I can't use Tucker to get a dilithium because then... All right, let's backtrack this for the moment. Let's just say that... Let's say I'm still going to warp the Enterprise here to set him up to get Mayweather next time around to warp the ship back. So I think I'm going to do that. So yeah, let's just backtrack that. I got 2 dilithium. I want to spend Mayweather now, but I need to get... Yeah, I'm missing one aspect of it. Put a card on top of your deck to gain a person. Take an incident to gain an ally. I could gain this person. Can I then log? What does she do? After putting a synthetic into play, as a duty officer, after putting a synthetic into play, including this card, log a card from your hand to draw a card for every 5 cards in your log. Spend 2 dilithium to scan for a Borg. Log a card from your discard pile to gain a dilithium. Okay. But then how do I get her? Oh, okay. So I can log the incident, right? I can log an incident. Okay, let's see if I can get this. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to play this one. To play a card on top of your deck to gain a person. Who would I put on top of my deck? Not Tucker. I'm not using him right now, right? Or I don't know if I can use him right now. I haven't mathed this out. Let's put, you may enlist a reserve or development. Interesting. You may take an incident and exhaust your captain to draw a card. Now, I don't think we're ready to do this yet. Although enlisting a reserve is really helpful. Oh man, now I'm just so overwhelmed and confused. This is only turn 2. Only turn 2. I'm trying to get so many things done, and I don't know if it's going to happen. I want to play Mayweather to get the Enterprise back over there and then exhaust my captain, which I can... He's now refreshed at the moment. Exhaust him to get an away team down there, but I need to get 4 dilithium and I need to beam someone here at the same time. But if I beam someone here, I lose a dilithium. Can I get this person and then beam her there? That's the question. Put a card on top of your deck to gain a person. Fine. I'm just going to do this. Let's just keep it moving. And then I'm going to put a card on top of my deck to gain a person. So I'm going to gain this glory, and I'm going to gain it. When I gain it, it can go into my discard pile or on top of my deck. I don't think I can draw cards. So yeah, I don't think there's a way to get her right now. I'm going to put her on top of my deck to set this up for the next turn. I think I'm going to do that. New one comes out. Okay, so I'm going to keep Travis in my hand, I think. We'll see how this goes. I didn't use all my actions. I'm going to use Trip here. Gain a cargo from the top of the deck and either... Oh, did I do that wrong? I think I did. Instead of grabbing this one, I think I should have... Okay, so mistake. I already made a mistake. Gain a cargo from the top of the deck. Not from here, but from here. So going forward, I'll have to remember that. So I'm going to play that one. And let's put a thing on there. Gain a cargo from the top of the deck. and either log it or put it on top of your reserve deck and gain a dilithium on Earth. Do I want to keep this one is the question. Play, draw 2 cards. Junk a card from the market, deploy this card. That's not terrible. Requires 4 tactical, though. Spend. As a reaction, when you would be forced by an attack to remove 1 or more away teams, dismiss this card to ignore the negative. I'm not going to be attacked in the Cadet solo mode, but the fact that I can just play it to draw 2 cards for free, that is powerful. I want to keep that, I think. So part of me wants to put that on top of my reserve in order to continuously draw cards to cycle through this faster. If I put it here, it's not coming back. So I'm going to put it on top of my reserve. And if I do that, put it on top of your reserve and place 1 dilithium on Earth. Okay. Did I do that twice? No, I didn't. Okay. I'm just making sure that I didn't do that twice. So I get to put 1 dilithium on Earth per trips card. I still have Mayweather here, and I'm tempted just to hold on to him until I draw the next set of cards, so then I can get someone beamed here. Although I still need dilithium. Okay. This is just a nightmare. You may spend 2 dilithium to send... No. I mean, what I could do, I suppose, is just go after this location, screw this objective for right now. I think that's what I'm going to do. Let's just keep this moving. I'm going to free play him. I'm going to go here. I'm going to exhaust my captain to put an away team there. And even if I haven't done this, I can do it in the future, hopefully. You may exhaust your captain, send an away team to the same location. Okay. All right, so that's just a free play action. I still have 1 action left that I can't do anything with. I can spend a dilithium to warp this ship. I can spend a dilithium to beam a card here. Promote a person from your hand to duty officer, but we're really not doing that right now. Reaction. After discarding a directive, which I did not do. Okay, so I think that's everything. So yeah, let's just clean that up. We're going to resolve the Stardate card. We're going to place Glory. Where would I want that? I'm thinking none of these. I mean, with Trip, cargo is a thing, but it's coming from here and not here. So like I can't queue up Glory now on cargo cards. The science is nice. What about this ship? What is this? The Medusan vessel. Deploy this ship. You may discard a card to scan for a telepath. Spend a... I don't see me using this ship. I could put it on the Binars to get another... No. Let's put it on a person. This is only 1 point. Reveal a card from your hand and put it on the top of your deck to gain a card of the same suit from the junk. Log the gain card and gain 1 glory. If the gain card is ancient, draw 2 cards. So it's a way for me to log cards from the junk and gain glory at the same time. Do I want her as a duty officer? Gain a gold press latinum. You may discard Starfleet to gain a gold press latinum. Okay, reaction. After putting a cargo, alien, ancient into play, spend 1 gold press latinum to gain 2 science. I'm actually interested in that one because I could probably get a lot of science going, but we'll see. I haven't done any of this yet, any victory point gaining. But now she's interesting. Okay. Even though she's only 1 point down here, she's got some gold press latinum stuff going on, which I don't know if Archer uses, to be honest, but we're going to just throw caution to the wind and try it. Okay, so with that said, I did that. Discard and draw. So all of these go away. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 from the reserve, which is the phasers, I believe, and that's 5. Now, I'm not trying to draw yet, so this discard pile, I believe, stays where it is and doesn't get shuffled yet. It's only when I go to draw do we discard this. So let's move on to the next round. There's resupply, which if you have a deployed ship and 3 or more resources, I don't. But moving on to control, I can control Ryza. So we're going to control Ryza. We'll put Ryza somewhere down here. Actually, let's put it somewhere where there's more room. I have to get rid of the Enterprise for now into the discard pile, so I guess we'll do something like that. Control. Actually, let's do this first. And these go here. Enterprise comes over here. Okay. As a reward, it's control effect. Find up to 3 persons, except in your reserve deck, and beam them here. Find 3 persons. Okay, so when I find them, quote unquote find, choose matching card from your hand, draw deck, discard pile, or reserve deck and add it to your hand. But it's telling me to beam them here. Are there any characters in my reserve that I could beam there? Any persons? And the answer is yes. T'Pol and Major Hayes are both persons. So I think just to get them going, I should be able to find up to 3 persons except in my reserve deck. Damn it. Okay. Except in my reserve deck. All right then. Let's do... It says up to, so I don't have to. But I'm going to... Do I want to use these guys in the future? And also my hand, right? This is my hand. So do I plan on using her anytime soon? Log a card from your discard pile to gain. Actually, yes, because the incident is still in there. So I might do that to get rid of the... Yes, I'm going to keep her in there. But I might... From my discard pile, just beam these guys to Ryza and then just get some gold press latinum passively from that. Beam them here. Okay. So this is my hand. So I did the control step. That's done. And now we move on to actions. So my hand of 5 cards. Let's see. Okay. Now, I don't know if I missed this part where I discarded. Yeah. Okay, so let's do this. It says log a card from your discard pile. But if I log an incident, though, I didn't think about this. It's a permanent -2 points. So maybe I do beam her there. Let's beam her to Ryza. Yeah, let's get her out of my hand. Let's just beam her to Ryza. Yeah. Okay. I wasn't thinking incidents are permanent, so maybe I should address that whenever I get it. The downside is now I don't have... Did she have a play effect I could have used? Spend 2 dilithium to scan for a Borg. No, there's really nothing... Yeah, all right, that's fine. Okay. Draw a directive or encounter from your discard pile. I could use that to get a directive I actually want from my discard pile. I can also enlist a reserve or a development. You may take an incident and exhaust your captain to draw 2 cards for every 2 control locations you have in play. Send an away team to a location where you have a ship. I don't have the Enterprise out right now, so like that's useless to me, which is awful. Let's go with phasers on this one. And this says draw 2 cards. So I'm going to play that. Now I'm forced to... wait. Before I do that, draw a directive. Let's take a look at our discard pile to see if there's a directive that we would want. I'm tempted to take Analyze to get 2 more dilithium so that I can get that worked on. Put a recruit to gain... Yeah, I could possibly get that. You know what? Let's do that. I'm going to play Strength of the Soul to draw a directive or encounter from your discard pile. So I'm going to play that. You know what? Hold on. Before I do that, I want to see what's in my reserve and development to see if it's worth buying something there. Because I do have some resources. Let's take a look now. I can enlist a reserve, which I'm guessing is from the top. Or I can enlist a development. So let's take a look at my developments and see... Okay, so I need 3 dilithium and have 2 Zindi in play, which I don't have for Daniels. Commander Shran needs 2 dilithium and 2 gold pressed latinum. I don't have that. I could spend a glory, I suppose, to get Shran. This gets me more away teams, which is nice. And as my duty officer, discard a card to send an away team to a location. If the discarded card is a directive or cargo, gain 2 dilithium. That's not bad. That's not terrible. If I can get Shran as my duty officer, he sounds... I might actually go for that one, because even though I'm spending dilithium to get this card, I'm feeling I can get it right back by like discarding cargo or whatever to get away teams to locations. But I only have the 1 ship right now. That's going to be the hard part, is like getting the Enterprise drafted, and then somewhere I might need to get more ships in play with Shran if I did that. We've got Ambassador Suval, which is 3 dilithium and exhaust my captain, which I don't know if I'm crazy about. Discard a human to draw 2 cards and gain 1. That's not bad either. And I also get more away teams. Okay. Admiral Forrest. You may free play an incident or a directive. You may promote Admiral Forrest and up to 2 other persons from your hand, discard pile, or staging area. So I can have 3 duty officers with him, but... have 4 cards. There it is. Have 4 cards beamed to Earth. That is the reason. Okay, I said earlier, is there a reason why I would want to do this instead of just logging cards? Well, apparently it's to satisfy this guy's development cost here. Okay, that changes things kind of, sort of. Have an incident and an encounter in play. I don't think I'm ever going to get to that anytime soon. Automated repair station, no cost. Take control of this location. You may beam a person here to scan one ship. Okay, that's not terrible. Activation. If you have a ship here, draw a card. However, as a reaction, after deploying or warping a ship, log a person from your hand or discard pile to draw a card. Gain 1 dilithium and refresh this card. So if you have a ship here, draw a card. That means I need to keep a ship here. So whatever ship I gain control of, I need to beam here and keep it here permanently to continue activating this. Because if I don't, then the reaction kicks in and that gets exhausted and I lose people. That is, if I'm reading that right. So I might take the automated repair station for this. But then to get a ship, like, this would give me a free card draw, pretty much. Like, this whole scenario would be I'd gain a free card draw. Yeah, if you have a ship here, draw a card. So I would get an extra card every turn, which isn't bad, I suppose. I don't have enough actions. All right, let's do it. Just to show off these cards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play... as an action, you may enlist a reserve or a development. Okay, so I'm going to enlist it. Now, when I enlist it, I believe it goes into my hand, correct? Enlist. New card from reserve or development to the top of your deck. Okay, good to know. Top of my deck, which I don't have a deck. So I'm just going to make one right there. Okay. So I enlisted a development. You may take an incident and exhaust your captain to draw a card for every 2 controlled locations. I have 1 controlled location in play, which is here. Earth is a status, not a location. Okay, so this is my development deck. This comes back. And there was no cost for that either. So that's really strange. Okay, so that was 1 action. Now I'm going to use phasers, I think. Or is there anything else I can use for my discard pile? Exhaust your captain to scan for NX01, or look at the top 2 cards of your reserve deck, put them on top or bottom in any order. You may promote a person with Starfleet from your hand. No, I think I'm going to scan for more people with this one. Let's do it. I'm gonna scan first. So I'm just going to keep drawing cards until I come across Hoshi Sato. Okay, well, there you go. And we're going to shuffle that up. Okay. Great. And what was that now? That was exhaust to scan. Put the gain card on top of your reserve. This reserve deck is getting larger, not smaller. I'm a little concerned about that. This was a free play. Okay, so nothing happens there. And then we've got these two. I'm going to now draw 2 cards. And then deploy it. So, okay, so this card is going to be out for a while. Okay, so just draw 2 cards. So I'm going to free play this and then deploy it. So the phaser I'm going to put over here. And draw 2 cards. Junk a card from the market. So the only... Oh, junk a card. I can get rid of something. Let's get rid of the binars. I mean, I really don't... Yeah, I want to... Actually, no. I want a better ship than this. Let's just... I want to see if there's a better... Oh, there's a blue ribbon down there. I'm going to want that one. Okay. So, did that. Deployed it. And that's it. Reaction. When you would be forced to buy an attack. Okay, if I ever get attacked, which I don't think it's going to happen, something happens. But that's... I get to draw 2 cards. 1, and then 1 from the top of my reserve deck, so I can then shuffle my my discard pile back. Okay, so we're there. So now I've got some more cards. Hoshi Sato, I just put her there. Find a card with science on it. So I can now find the Enterprise and possibly get it back out. I think we're going to do that. I do also want to take control of this location to okay, let's do one thing at a time. Let's find a card. This is a free play. Find a card with, yeah, so we're going to put that in there. Free play. Find a card with that. So I'm going to go through my deck and find the Enterprise, which has that little science tag there. I'm going to find it, and I found it. Look at that. Lucky me. I found it. And I'm going to keep that. And that was it for her. Nothing else. But now I've got this. Now I can get the Enterprise back out. And that's going to cost an action. Deploy this ship. You may exhaust a duty officer to warp it, but I don't have a duty officer right now, so we just have the Enterprise out there. But we can still activate this card to promote or to beam or to warp a card or whatever. We can also beam someone here at some point, which we're going to need to do for this goal that we're trying to do earlier but unsuccessfully failed to do. Next, take control of this location. So I'm going to put this... I'm going to run out of room. Okay, so I need to spend an action to take control of this location. And then you may beam a person here to scan one ship. Oh, you know what? I wasn't thinking of that. I have to beam a person here as well. Okay. So what I'm going to have to do maybe is like move the Enterprise over here temporarily, but I need to get the Enterprise away from here at some point. Like, how's that gonna work? I don't have any people. They're all okay. Let's do this. This is what we're gonna do. We have Ryza. Did I not do this last turn? I can't remember. I can activation recall a card beamed here to gain a gold press latinum. Well, I don't think I'm using her. So I'm going to gain a gold press latinum to beam her back. Great. And now I can do this rigmarole crap. Take control of this location. You may beam a person here to scan one ship. So I'm going to beam her there and then scan one ship. I'm going to scan. I can look at this. I don't have to take it. The Zindi Aquatic Cruiser. I think I want the blue ribbon down there. So, and this is Starfleet as well. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep, I think this goes, when I scan it, I'm going to have to look to see if it, well, it's going to come out anyway, right? After I take it, whatever. Maybe this gets shuffled to the bottom, I don't remember, but for right now, to keep the video moving, we're going to just put it there. But yeah, so now we get to the Pasteur. And it says, you may beam a person here to scan one ship. Oh, if I scan it, but now I need an action to play it, and I don't have an action. Oh my God. After deploying or warping a ship, log a okay, so as long as I don't deploy or warp any more ships. How does that work? So wait a minute. First, oh, I have to give somebody up. And then on the following turns, then I wonder if I can log a person that's beamed here. After deploying or warping a ship, log a person from your hand or discard pile. Okay, so Travis Mayweather. It's fitting because Travis in that episode almost got taken by this thing. So maybe we just get rid of Travis to do this card draw thing. I don't know. But I kind of want Travis to move the ship around. That's scary. Okay, well, we'll do this for now. And then, yeah. So we scanned it, right? So we scanned it, and scanning goes... New card from market to top of your draw deck or the discard pile. Let's put it into the discard pile for now so that I can just, yeah, I'll draw it later. I have Shuttle Pod 1, which is technically a ship. Oh, I can't do that either. I don't have any more actions to do anything with this card anyway, unfortunately. So this is going to go into the discard pile as well, because I can't do anything with it. I don't have enough actions. So was there anything else that I could have done? If you have a deployed ship and 3... Nope. You may beam a non-directive card here from your hand or staging area. I don't see anything really that I'm going to... That's during cleanup. Your ship can warp, pair cards can beam down. I don't know when I would ever use that. Okay. I think there's just so much going on. Activation, if you have a ship here, draw a card. Reaction, after deploying or warping a ship. So as long as I don't do either deploy or warp, I'm okay. But, and this ship, this is not deploying. It's just to send away teams. So I'm safe using that. So I don't want to warp the Enterprise anywhere right now. If I did, I'd have to discard. Actually, you know what? I don't have a person in my discard pile. So what happens after if I were to warp the Enterprise here temporarily and then get another ship here and then warp the Enterprise away? After deploying warp a ship, log a person from your hand or discard pile to draw a card. But see, I can't log a person from my hand because I have no hand at this point, and I can't. Yeah, so I have to wonder, that reaction then would not kick in if I were to warp the Enterprise here because I don't have anyone to get rid of. What if I can't satisfy that condition? Does that mean the reaction doesn't work at all? But then, okay, so I could do that. I think it's safe. I'm going to warp the Enterprise here. I'm going to spend a dilithium to do it. And I'll try and get that back later. But now that I've warped a ship here, it would say, after deploying or warping a ship, log a person from your hand, which I have nothing, or discard pile, which I have nothing. So this reaction would not kick in, if I'm understanding that correctly. So now my Enterprise is here. I can now activate it to just draw a card, which I don't know why I would do that, but let's just draw it anyway. Okay. Yeah, so there's nothing I can do with this. So yeah, I'm just going to just discard it during my cleanup step. Yeah, there's nothing I can do with that. But that's interesting. So I've spent... I got around that issue. I didn't have anyone to get rid of. That reaction did not kick in. But now that the Enterprise is there, I keep it there until I get another ship over there to replace it. I think that's what I do. All right, anything else? Actions. All right, let's just clean up. So we're going to do that one. We're going to do that one and that one. And then these refresh. This is interesting. Like, I don't know if I played that right, but I'm just following the card text, really. Okay. And what am I missing? Oh, yeah. Resolve start date. Let's put that in there. I think we're going to want this card. And discard and draw. So these go away. And I draw some cards. 1, 2, 3, 1 from the reserve. And then I have to shuffle. 5. Okay. I got to keep this deck nice and thin to keep up with the cards I'm putting into the reserve, I think. I think that's a strategy. All right, so first off, resupply. If you have a deployed ship, I do. Do you have 3 or more resources north? I do not. Okay. I need to get that done somehow. Okay. And then I can't control any location right now. Okay, so we're back to taking actions. Oh, I just realized if I deploy... Oh, I could deploy this ship, right? And as a reaction, after deploying a ship, log a person from your hand or discard pile. I have no people in... Oh, I do. Can I play T'Pol first? Technically, I can put her into my staging area, and it's no longer in my hand, and then play a card, right? Maybe maybe I do this last. I want to get the Pastor here to replace the Enterprise. So the Enterprise can then work on here to get this mission done. How would I use T'Pol? Let's take a look at her card. So she's got a lot of stuff here. As an action, you may spend a dilithium to scan for either blue, yellow, or red tags. You may draw a card. You may promote a person from your hand or staging area to duty officer. Can be this card. Gain a dilithium or spend a dilithium to... I like this, actually. I'm going to probably promote her for the dilithium because I need to get that done. So I need to promote her. And I can use an action to do that, but is there a way to do it for free is the question. Can the Enterprise just do it? Yes, promote a person from your hand to... So rather than... Do I want to do the rest of this to scan? Do I want to scan for a particular card? Now, when I scan for it, where am I scanning? Where am I... Okay, am I scanning... Here, the market? Am I scanning? Is there a order of operations with that? Let's check. Probably read this like 6 times. Scan. New card from the market to the top of your draw deck or the discard pile. Okay, so when I'm scanning it, yeah, new card. So I'm going to be scanning for something here. The question is what? I could scan for blue. And that would be a way to get this person into... Now, here's the thing. I'd have to put it on top of my deck so that she would not go away whenever this thing reacted. So I think I'm going to play her as an action, but let me check the rest of... Yeah, I can gain 2 dilithium with that as well. I have to do this in the right order and make sure I've got enough... So there's 1 action. That's 2 actions. No. Discard 1. I could do that. Now, here's the thing. I need to play this one first because if I put her on top of my deck, I'll end up drawing her. So let's get Red Squadron done first. Draw 2 cards and discard 1 of the drawn cards. So I'm going to play him to draw 2 cards. 1. And discard 1 of them. I'm going to discard this incident. Sure. We'll discard the incident. This incident, I need to get rid of that incident at some point. But I've played him. Now if I play her, I can spend a dilithium to scan for either blue. I'm going to do that. I'm going to scan for blue. I see a blue. I'm going to scan in this pile here. I'm going to take this glory. And there we go. And this is going to go to the... When I scan it, I'm going to put it to the top of my deck. So that it's not in my hand and it's not in my discard pile when this thing reacts to whether or not something was deployed, that kind of thing. So is that it? You may promote a person from your hand or staging area to duty officer. Can be this card. I'm gonna promote her now. So I need to, you know what? I'm gonna move this up here. I know you guys can't see it now, but it's just the solo practice Stardate cards. But now during resupply, I can just gain stuff, but I'm not gaining anything here, and I'm a little concerned about that. I think I need to go hard on like science or something, and then ignore the other two. That might be the way to go. What was that? Did that? Oh, I had to do an action to do that. So she's done. However, as an activation, discard a human or engineer to draw a cargo or directive from your discard pile. So I could discard a human or an engineer, which I have none of. Yeah, I don't have any of that. Okay. All right. For right now, anyway. So let's get the Pasteur out. I want to deploy this ship. So I'm going to, as an action, deploy this ship. Now the question is, do I have a token for it? The USS Pasteur, as seen in the final episode of Journey's End, was it? All things come to an end. Q, the spatial anomalies in the Deveron system. Anyway, yeah, the last TNG episode, season 7. All right, so we got that. Now I could do either deploy this ship. You may free play a communication or doctor, which I don't have, or spend 2 to scan for either communication, doctor, engineer, or scientist, which I don't want to do. Okay, so spend a dilithium to warp this ship. Yeah, I guess. I hate spending this, but I'm going to get it back, I think, with her and the other cards that I've got. So I'm going to warp this ship here. And again, I deployed a ship. After deploying or warping a ship, log a person from your hand. Don't have any. Discard pile. Don't have any. So that reaction's not going to kick in, right? If you have a ship here, draw a card. So I could just do the other activation and just draw a card. So I'm going to activate this and draw a card. Okay, now I've got her. And now I don't have to worry about this ever kicking in this reaction because I'm just... that's a thought. I have to make sure that I'm activating this before anything else so that the reaction doesn't kick in before the activation does. Just to show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm going to try and focus on that. So the reaction is after deploying or warping a ship, log a person from your hand or discard pile to draw a card. So like I need to make sure that I'm activating this to exhaust this card. And before the reaction kicks in and gets rid of one of my people. So that's going to be the tough part, I think. But now that the ships are here, I can move the Enterprise away. So do I want to do that now or wait for... I might wait for Travis because I don't think I need to do anything. Actually, so now as a duty officer, she's not going to do anything. Because I've got her gaining me dilithium, which I think I need more at this point. Reveal a card from your hand and put it on top of your deck to gain a card of the same suit from the junk. Log the gained card and gain 1 glory. I don't know about that. Yeah, maybe taking her was not a good idea. Maybe if I can get her in play and if there's a card that lets me gain science points based on how many icons I have out, that might be a good thing to have. But, or I could beam her somewhere, like this is human and scientist. You may beam a non-directive card here from your hand or staging area during the cleanup. I don't think I have to have a ship here to do it. I can just beam it there, right? So if it shares no traits with your captain, human and scientist. Starfleet, human, dang. Okay, so they're both human, so I would not get a glory and a diplomacy thing. But at least I'd be 1/4 of the way to getting that other guy out. And I can have more duty officers. But once I put her here, that's it. But I think I'd rather... Actually, no. Let's get her on the Enterprise so that... yeah, I think I might just beam her to the Enterprise. So do I'm going to beam... my last dilithium. I'm going to beam her to the Enterprise. That is a requirement for getting this done. I need to have a person on the Enterprise. So she's going to be my guinea pig for this whole thing up here. I think that's the right thing to do. That was an activation. Okay. So now I've got these left, and I've got, what, one action left? That was used. She was used. Now I can do something here. I'm going to do the bottom action for Analyze and just take 2 dilithium because I've been using so much of it. I need my dilithium back. Put a card on top of your deck to gain a person. Do I want to gain him? Not really. What about send an away team to a location where you have a ship? You may either beam a card to a ship or recall. What I could have done, send an away team to a location where you have a ship. What if I use this to... Okay, let's reverse. Rather than use this activation to beam a card here, I'm going to use it to warp a ship. I'm going to warp the Enterprise over to one with a blue icon, preferably. I'll do Indri 7, sure. Okay, and then that was my activation. But I can play Shuttlepod 1, which is send an away team to a location where you have a ship, right? And you may either beam a card to a ship or recall a card. I'm going to beam her where she is now, because she would have been in my hand having like retconned that. But Shuttlepod 1 does the beaming thing automatically, which is really cool. So I'm going to spend my last action to use that, and now I've got more things in play this way than had I done it the other way. And then I can't do anything with this because, yeah. So during cleanup, well, actually before, I can take a person from here if I want to. Let's do that. I'm going to take Trip or Mayweather. I think him only to see about possibly getting like more dilithium and logging cargo. I think we're going to do, yeah, we want Trip back. He's going to go into my hand, but unfortunately, like I don't have any actions to use him right now. I will gain a gold press latinum for getting that card back, and that activates that. And now these 2 are in my hand. I can't do anything with it, so these 2 are going to go away during cleanup. Anything else I missed? You may beam a non-directive card here during cleanup. No, I don't think so. Discard a human to draw a... Oh, I had Trip in my hand, having warped it back. I could discard a human/engineer to draw a cargo or directive from my discard pile. Well, unfortunately, the only thing I have in my discard pile is the incident. So that would have been nice, but I can't really make use of it. So that's not helpful at all. Okay, well, let's keep the video moving. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to put this, preferably something with like, I mean, that has a science tag, but none of these have a ribbon on the bottom right. Maybe another ship to help me get more planets under my control. You may discard a card to beam a card here. Spend 2 dilithium to warp this ship. Ugh. You may free play a card beamed here. Discard a card to beam 2 dilithium? You gotta be kidding me. Ugh. I don't know if I want the Zindi. I mean, that's... Oh, wait. The one card in the development deck wanted Zindi, but I don't know... What was that? The Zindi Council. Scan for Zindi, including from the junk. Have an incident? No, I don't think that was it. Maybe there was another Zindi thing, but I don't think so. Okay. Where am I going to put this? I mean, here, ideally... only to get more science tags in play to go up this track faster because I'm running out of time here. Is this going to go into play? Discard a Starfleet to scan for an alien. If you have 3 non-encounter cards with alien in play, no. None of these involve keeping the card out here to do the thing. Yeah, I don't like any of these cards, to be honest with you. I mean, if anything, I can gain a cargo, log it. Maybe a cargo card will come up in the future, and I'll just put these on the binars for now, even though that's the least. That's the one I want the least. And have I not been discarding? I don't think I've been discarding, but I'm going to discard that one and put a new ship out. That is the Kazon Raider. Attack, play, deploy this ship. It has a yellow ribbon on the bottom right there. Force your opponent to discard a card. You may discard a card to gain 1 gold press latinum. Not an ideal ship either for this particular setup, but so it goes. Okay. So we're going to clean that up. We're going to clean that up. Refresh, refresh, refresh. The Pasteur is now here at this station. The Enterprise has that. Yeah, there's just so many things going on here. Okay, so we should discard these. And I think that's it. During cleanup, you may beam a not. No. Okay. I could beam an ally. I can start beaming allies over here, right? And then that would satisfy Earth. So maybe I do work on getting allies, but then I have to take incidents. Ugh. All right, well. It's every time I come up with a strategy, I find ways why it won't work. Okay, okay, let's go 1, 2, 3, 4 from the reserve, and then shuffle, discard pile. And 5. We got Tucker there. Good. Okay. Resupply. If you have a deployed ship, I do. I don't have enough here, though. Resupply. Gain a dilithium. Well, you don't have to tell me twice. I'll do that. And any other resupply that I missed. I don't see anything. Okay. Actions. Oh, control. I'm not controlling anything. Okay. Porthos. Okay, so it's the new reserve card we got. Find a person. If the card was found in your reserve deck, discard it. You may refresh your captain. If you have an alien in play, you gain 1 glory and both players take an incident. You know what? That's in reference to when Porthos peed on the sacred tree of that one planet. I think that's what that's in reference to. And the captain had to dress up in like the long hair tendril thing and cut the logs and put them in the right. Anyway, find a card. Faith of the Heart. Exhaust your captain to scan. Okay, maybe I do this. Put them on top. I may promote a. Yeah. So we're gonna play this right away just to get this going. Exhaust your captain. Hopefully, I don't need him for anything else, but I'm going to exhaust him. And scan for NX01. So I'm going to continue looking for NX01 from top down. Malcolm Reed. Okay, well there's Reed. Okay, and then we'll shuffle. Okay. When we find him, it says to put. I'm thinking I have to put him on top of the reserve deck, yeah. Okay, so Malcolm is going to go. I finally found Malcolm. I've been looking for him forever in a previous game because I couldn't find him. But yeah, there he is. All right, that was a free play, so I don't have to do anything else with that. I'm going to do this right away. Activate. If you have a ship here, draw a card. I don't want the reaction to kick in because this is already exhausted. Now that this is exhausted, the reaction shouldn't kick in. So I'm just going to draw a card now. And it's Red Squadron. I'm just going to free play him to draw 2 cards and discard one of them. You may beam a card from your staging area to a ship. Can be this card. I don't think I want to do that. I can also bring Mayweather back into my hand, but I don't see a reason to move the ship right now. I can keep him on Ryza until I need to move the ship again. I want to keep the Enterprise there. I need to get one more away team down there, and then and one more dilithium. Can I do that? Okay, what about Tucker? Gain a cargo from the top of the deck here. Log it and gain a dilithium, or put it on top of your reserve deck. And okay, I'm going to do that, I think, just to get that going. Gain a cargo. So this has a yellow ribbon on the bottom, but you may take an incident to duplicate a play operation. From your log, you may recall a non-time travel. You know what? Let's just get rid of it. Gain a cargo from the top of your deck and either log it and gain a dilithium or put it on. Yeah, I'm going to log it and gain a dilithium. So it's not going to go to Earth. It's just going to, is that right? Log it and gain a dilithium. Yep. So now I've got 4 dilithium, which I just need an away team to control this neutral location. Let's draw cards with the Red Squadron ally and see what we get off that. It's a free play. So we're just going to draw 2 cards and discard one of them. We're going to discard... I want the dilithium. However, I'm thinking that if I discard Analyze, that will allow me to... for Earth to kick in. After discarding a directive during your action step, I can place a resource here. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to discard this for once. And that way I can put a dilithium on Earth. Okay. Now I've got this mess. And that was a free play. I could also beam a card from your staging area to a ship. I can be this card. I don't think I want to do that yet. You may enlist a reserve or development. That's something I want to do, I think. Find a person. Find a card with... What would I find, like, what would I find with science on it? Or, like, I don't know. Find a person. All right, maybe I do... here's the thing, like, I want to enlist... You may enlist a reserve or a development. So maybe I enlist a reserve. And if I enlist a reserve, I just take it from the top, don't I? You may take an incident and exhaust your captain. No. So I'm just going to free play this, or not free play it, but take an action to just get after this reserve. Okay, there's Malcolm Reed. Okay, interesting. If you have an engineer in play, gain 2 dilithium as a resupply. That's really good. Okay. I still like the consistent one there. I'd have to get Trip out in order for Malcolm Reed to kick in. If I play free play, gain 1 tactical. Discard a card from your hand or the top of your deck. Gain a tactical for each different one of Augment, Zindi, or Romulan you have in your discard pile, which I don't think I have any of that, unfortunately. I'm just going to free play him probably just to get that 1 tactical. Discard a card to return this card. If the discarded card has a red ribbon or attachment, it doesn't, yeah, gain 2 dilithium. If you have a communication in play, return this card and gain, oh, she's communication. So let's free play her. Let's free play her to find a card with blue on it. So when we find a card, it can come from, choose a matching card from your hand, draw deck, discard pile, or reserve. Hand, draw deck. All right, well, let's check the reserve. It doesn't say anything about not being able to look at the reserve. So let's look at the reserve and see if there's any. There is not, unfortunately. Yeah, all of these. Yeah, okay, well, I'll shuffle that. What if I can't find anything with science? Find a card. So if I can't find a card, do I just play it and then nothing happens? I think that's how it works. That's what I'm going to do. I unfortunately can't. Yeah, like all of my science stuff is either out here or my deck. Yeah, my deck doesn't have science in it either. So we'll just shuffle that back up. All right, I'm just going to free play her and do nothing with it. And again, maybe I'm not allowed to do that because I have to like do the effect. But again, this is an exploratory game. I'm just going to wing it for the sake of winging it. And I need to look at my hand again. And I had, oh no, that's the deck. My hand is over here. Okay. So now I have her in play. Now I can, if you have a communication in play, return this card and gain 2 dilithium. So I can now play this for an action. If you have a communication in play, return this card and gain 2 dilithium. So I'm going to return this to the deck finally and gain 2 dilithium to do it. Great. I'm going to free play him just to gain 1 tactical. So that's free play and then one red there. Yeah. Discard a card from your hand or the top of your deck. Well, I can discard. You know what? I'm just going to discard Porthos because there's nothing I can do with it. Or no, it says find a person. If the card was found in your reserve deck, discard it. Let's actually just discard from the top of my deck. We'll do that. Gain 1 tactical for each different one of your Augment, Zindi, Romulan. I don't have any of those. So I'm just going to put them down here. And now play for free, find a person. If the card was found in your reserve deck, discard it. You may refresh your captain. I'll refresh him, sure. So let's find a person in here. The only person in here is Hayes, I believe. Reserve, 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 reserve. All of these are development. I just want to make sure I didn't mix cards by accident. Yeah, okay. So I've got Hayes in there. I could find him, which I just did. And I'll put him in my discard pile as the game wants me to. Okay. If the card was found in your reserve deck, discard it. You may refresh your captain. If an alien is in play, you gain... Oh, I forgot to check. I don't think I have an alien in play. Pilot, Starfleet, attack, Vulcan, not alien. Not alien. Scientist, human. No. Synthetic and android, not alien. Okay, I don't see alien. I've got a lot of cards out here, but I'm pretty sure none of these are alien. Okay, so I don't have to worry about him pissing on a tree and pissing people off. And this is my reserves. Okay, so let's go ahead and shuffle that. Put that on top there. Okay, all right. I think we're in the clear there. All right. Okay. Okay. So resolve. Is there anything else I can do with all of this gobbledygook? I've done that one. I could be Mayweather back, but I don't see a reason to do it yet. Could I somehow get an away team out there? I don't think I can. Not with what I've got. You may beam a non-directive card from your hand or staging area. Maybe I start doing that. Just to... See, this lets me draw 2 cards, and I don't... that's just... There's no reason to do that. Is there a card in my staging area that I never want to see ever again? And I don't think such a thing exists right now. The pastor should be over here, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Oh boy. Yeah, this is getting messy. Okay. Well, discard a human or engineer to draw cargo directive from your discard pile. Actually, I know I used Porthos, so I can't do that. Okay. In that case, we'll just end that there, end this turn here. Resolve start date. So we're going to put that on the binars again, and I want to get rid of the Zindi ship. Or no, Kazon, sorry. Oh, the Enterprise C. No, that's one I want. There's a blue ribbon down there. I definitely want that one. The problem is, if I don't grab it, it's going to go away on my next turn. The first solo cadet practice card is clear of tokens. So whenever the next round ends, this is going away. So I really need to reserve that. Okay. All right, so let's clean up. We're halfway through the game roughly. All of these get discarded. There. I've got 1 card, and then 1 for my reserve, and then shuffle. 3, 4, 5. I feel like I'm not getting anything done, anything done. I need to get this. I need that card that lets me work on moving things up the track quickly. Resupply, I can gain a dilithium, or I'm going to spend a dilithium, actually, from hers to gain a science. I think it's time to start pushing that up the track as much as we can. I don't know what other cards do that, but I'm going to need a lot of help with that. And there's no other resupply that I can see here. Okay, so, and no control. Okay, so let's see what we got. Strange New Worlds, that's a new one. Select, well, not new, because I've seen it in Kirk's deck. Select the control location. If there is one plus an away team plus a ship there, look at the top 2 encounters, take 1. Do I want to start getting rid of locations to get encounters or not? I don't think so. I mean, maybe Ryza, but I don't have any ships really to spare to do that. So, yeah, I'm not feeling that too much. Maybe, like, maybe the occasional control from Enterprise, then do that. Maybe. But for right now, there's nothing I can do with that. Take an incident to gain a ship. I think I'm going to have to do that to get the Enterprise C. I think that's going to, with that blue ribbon being down there, I think that's going to be almost mandatory for this. And I can also send an away team here to finally get this mission done. So I think these 2 are going to be definites. I can draw 2 cards, discard 1. For him, I can send an away team to a location, but I don't think it matters if Shuttle Pod 1 does it or if he does it. What's his free action? You may log a card from your hand or discard pile to gain all the resources from a card in the market. Junk a card from the market. So I'm guessing all the resources on so I can gain all the glory from the binars and just have it go away during the sub cleanup. Maybe that's a thing. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. So I think before we do anything, let's get Red Squadron to draw 2 cards and discard 1. So we're going to go 1, 2. Exhaust your captain to scan for NX-01. Here's the thing. I'm going to discard Faith of the Heart so that I can get Earth to kick in. And finally, I've got 3 dilithium on there. You may... after discarding a directive during your action step, this is a reaction, so that's exhausted. Okay. So now I've got 3 dilithium there, and I'll get those 3, I think, during the resupply step on my next turn. So I'm going to keep Porthos. Let's get Analyze. And as much as I don't want to, I want to take an incident. Take is to here or here. I think it's discard. Take. Directly to hand. Okay, directly to hand. So this comes directly to my hand. Dilithium Shockwave. That can't be good. Spend all your dilithium. Nope. If you have a Kelpian in play, return this card. Nope. This is going to be a pain to get rid of. So I may just have to suck it up. Maybe use all of my dilithium and then get rid of it. So that's going to suck. But I got to take a ship. So I'm going to take the Enterprise C. I'm going to put that in the discard pile for now. And a new card comes out. And the reason I'm taking it, like I said, it's got that blue ribbon on the bottom right there for endgame scoring. Now I just have to push this up here and get this done, which I'm close to doing. Shuttle pod. You can send an away team to a location where you have a ship. So away team. So that's done. You may either beam a card to a ship or recall. I could... Well, no, this woman is, who is that? Soji? She's beamed to the station, not to the ship. So I don't want to beam, what's her name? Petra away, because that is part of the objective. Have the NX-01 Enterprise and away team at a secured neutral location. Have one person on the NX-01 and have at least 4 dilithium. I am good to go with that. So whenever, I guess it comes time to control that location... Unless it happens just now. But let's finish this first. Okay, it's done. Have the NX01. So it doesn't say during the control step. It just says have it. Have the NX01 enterprise. Okay, so I could just do it now. Let's do that. As a reward, you may spend 4 dilithium to take control of the NX01's location. You may find either Inspire or Strength of the Soul. I'm not going to spend 4 to... I'm going to control this on my next turn anyway, so I'm not going to spend resources to fight over it. Although I may want to, so that I can then get rid of this incident, right? Unless there's another card that... Let's resolve this in the right order. You may spend 4 to take control. What is Strength of the Soul or Inspire? I want to know what that is, because if I get that and can use that card... no, it's a reserve card. Inspire is draw 2 cards and discard 1 to gain 1 on the specialty oh, okay. Yeah, we need this card. And it's an action. So I don't want to use my last action to get rid of that incident. So, and... Okay. So I think what's going to happen here... Okay, so we're going to put those on top. So... You may spend 4 dilithium to take control of the NX. I could spend 4 to take control of this location now. Do I do that now? No, because if I do that now, I lose both of these tags, and I need these tags to play that Inspire card, so I'm not going to do that. You may find either Inspire or Strength of the Soul, and when I find it, please tell me, choose matching card from your hand, draw a pile, discard, and add it to your hand. Great. So I can add Inspire to my hand. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to play it as an action. I can draw 2 cards and discard 1 of the drawn cards. Gain 1 specialty track for each matching scale icon you have in play, excluding beamed cards. Oh, she's beamed on my ship, so I don't think that counts. She's beamed on the ship. So only 1, 2. Ugh. Well, I need to get it done. I need to get it done. The pastor doesn't have anything on there. I need to get more blue in play. Okay, so let's do. Okay, yeah, we're gonna play this. I have to get this. I have to get this track up there. This is now done. This is now done. So that's good. Draw 2 cards. 1, 2. Discard 1 of the drawn cards. Find a card with science on it. Requires 5. That is already going to kick in. I don't know which of these cards I would want. This is a free play, so I'm going to keep this one and discard Tucker. Okay. And then it says gain 1 specialty track. And then for each matching skill icon you have in play, excluding beamed cards. She's beamed onto the Enterprise. That's not a thing. So 1 to Paul is 2. I don't have any other locations, unfortunately, but 2 is better than nothing. So I'm going to go up 2. I'm up to ×2 now on this track. I really want to get up to ×6 if I can, but I'll be happy with ×4 if I can swing it. So that's done. Now I have some free play cards I can do. Find a card with science on it. I don't know why I would. Can't play that. Can't play that. I can play it. You may log a card from your hand or discard pile to gain all the resources from the market. I'm going to go crazy and log the... Is there a card? I mean, I think I might actually just log the incident. It's -2, though. But it gets it out of my freaking draw pile, and I don't draw it anymore. Unless there's something else. You may log a card from your hand or discard pile to gain all resources from a card in the market. Junk a card from the market. Do I get rid of Porthos? Find a person? I don't... I would hate to log Porthos. He's a creature, an XO1, find a person. I mean, that's not terrible when it's a free play. I would rather log something with an effect like on there. Send an away team to, no. All right, so I might actually log this dilithium shockwave just to get rid of it, but that's -2 that I'm banking for the end of the game. So what's more important to me, an action to get rid of it or 2 points? And that is, I don't know where to go with that, to be honest with you. Do I spend haze to just get rid of it? You may log a card from your hand or discard pile to gain all resources. You know what, let's do it. I'm going to gain that 2 back from this glory over here, right? So I'm going to free play him to log the incident just to get it out of my draw pile, and I can gain all the resources from a card on the market. Then I can junk a card from the market. This is a scientist. This is an Orion ship, the Devar. Deploy the ship for free. That's a good one, but I don't think it matters. I'm going to junk the cargo, junk the person. I hate to junk something and then something good comes out and then I lose it anyway. I'm going to junk the binars because I don't think allies have ribbons on them. I could be wrong about that. Porthos has a free find a person thing. I could find a person. I could find it in my discard pile. If the card was found in your reserve deck, discard it. I don't have any more in my reserve pile. I could find Trip Tucker, but the problem is that I don't have any actions to do anything with him, so Porthos is kind of not good at the moment. So find a card with blue on it. I mean, I don't have anything good there either. I might want to keep her for my next turn so I can get the Enterprise back out as quickly as possible. That might be, I'm going to keep her around. And then these 2 are going to go away. All right, so that's gone. Okay, so I'm going to keep this one, actually, in my hand. So I'm just going to put that over like that. Okay. Anything else I can do? I can gain a dilithium or spend a dilithium. I'm going to spend a dilithium to gain 1 on the science track. And I'm going to, hopefully I didn't do that already. I'm pretty sure I didn't. Resupply, I think that was just this turn, so... yeah. Beam a person here. No. I could get Travis back. After deploying a ship, take an incident. Nah. Select a ship and warp it. Eh. Okay. I think that's everything. Oh, did I do this? Yeah, I did. There's a token there. I could spend a dilithium to warp a ship, spend a dilithium to beam a... I don't think I'm going to do anything like that because I want to take control of this for the next turn. Okay, well, I think that's it for this turn. So I'm going to go ahead and just clean up a little bit here. We're going to go there, and then all of these gets... I need to get this Inspire out as often as possible. And I also need to wipe the market now. So that goes there, that goes there, that goes there, that goes there. New one comes out. This goes away. 5 new glory tokens go on the next Stardate card, which is here. Okay, and then I put 1 down here. This is the holographic drone ship. It has yellow on it, but I don't think I'm going that way. Play requires 7 science, draw a card, duplicate a play operation of a non-time travel ship from the market or deployed by any player. That's not terrible. Not terrible. Suliban, you may discard a card to recall a non-time travel card from your staging area, but it costs an action to do it. Is there any blues? I don't see any blues. No blue ribbons. Take an incident to scan for either an anomaly or a Zindi. You may spend a... I don't like any of these, but if I had to pick one, I kind of like the ship. I kind of like the ship so I can possibly control more locations. Or maybe the Suliban just to like discard a card to recall a non-time travel so I can reuse it. Let's go with the Suliban instead. I know I can get incidents to get allies. That might be something to think about. All right, so we discard and draw. There's Hoshi 2, 3, 4, and then a card from my reserve is 5. And then we still have our discard pile over here, so we haven't like reshuffled that yet. But yeah, that's not a bad turn considering we got all this done. But yeah, we're more than halfway through at this point. So let's resupply. If you have a deployed ship, oh wait, technically I have a deployed ship right now. Yeah, I have a deployed ship here. And 3+ resources on Earth. You may exhaust this card to gain 3 resources from Earth. I want to make sure that because there are other cards that make me exhaust the captain. Draw a card or warp a ship or exhaust your captain to do both. See, yeah, I don't know. How badly do I need this dilithium? I don't think I need it right now. That's something I could do later, I think. Okay, so maybe I don't resupply with him now, but I have it for later. I'm going to spend a dilithium with, oh, I forgot to refresh these. I can spend a dilithium to gain a science. So I'm going to spend a dilithium to gain a science on this track here. Looking good so far. We're on 5, trying to get up there before the end of the game hits. Any other resupply that I can think of? No. Okay. So, okay, now we go into control. So we're going to control this location. These go away into the discard pile. And we now control Indri 7. We gain an extra action this turn. So now we have 4 actions to mess around with, which is great. It also has a blue science tag there. So we have got 1, 2. If we can get the Enterprise back out and find that other one, that one card that gets us more science, I think we'll be in good shape, hopefully. But this goes there, that goes there, and I think we're done. Okay, so we've got this, and the first thing I want to do is I'm going to activate this so the reaction never kicks in. So we're going to activate this card. If you have a ship here, draw a card. I can't draw. Before I do this, is there anything I might want out of my discard pile? Yes. So before we even do this, before we even activate this, I am going to free play Hoshi to find a card with science. I found the Enterprise. It was in my discard pile all this time. Look at that. Because I want to get it out here for this science tag. Now, is there anything else that I might want from my discard pile? Draw a directive from your discard pile. You may enlist a reserve or development. Maybe now's the time to look into buying those developments. You know what? I'm going to free play this, I think. Here's the thing, I've got 4 actions though. I want to get this so I can get that other card back out. Inspire. I want to get this directive back out into my hand. I need to get this done as often as possible. Draw a directive from your discard pile. So I did that. And then I'm going to deploy this ship. Do I want to do that yet? Okay, so before we deploy a ship, we're going to activate this. Okay. Is there anything from the discard pile before I do that? Discard a card from your hand to the top of your deck. Nope. Nope. Discard 2 cards. Nope. Okay. So I think we're good now to do this, which means I need to draw a card, and I can't because the draw pile is empty. So now we're going to just draw a card from the reserve, which is that. And okay, so I exhausted this. Draw a card. All right, now I'm going to spend an action to deploy the Enterprise. Deploy this ship. You may exhaust a duty officer to warp this ship. Do I want to warp it anywhere? I could go out. There's a blue location up here I'm going to want. Oh, I need to exhaust these. Okay, so it was this one and this one. Should have been, oh crap. What did I just do? Oh, I moved Archer. That's the problem with having such a small table space for this camera. These should have been like 2 per the Stardate card, I think. Yeah, so these are gone. This one was occupied at the time, so only these ones come out. There's a blue still, so I may want to go after that one. So I am going to deploy this ship. You may exhaust a duty officer, which I'm going to exhaust to Paul, to, yeah, warp the ship here and try and get control of that location so I can get more blue symbols if I can. Although there's a blue ribbon down there. Oh, that sucks. You know what? Let's do that instead. We're going to go for the blue ribbons. We're going to try and get that location. Okay. We still have 3 more actions to go. So what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Scan to ally, log this card. I mean, that's an action. I definitely want to do this one. Now, is there another blue symbol I can play before I play this? Is there another blue tag I can get out here somewhere? I don't think so. No, okay. So, draw a card or warp a ship or exhaust your captain to do both. Actually, draw a card or warp a ship or exhaust your captain to do both. You may spend the dilithium to send an away team to a location where you have a ship. I think I might play this just to free play. To draw a card or warp a ship or exhaust your captain to do both. No, I'm just going to draw a card. Okay, there's Porthos. Okay. And it says find a person. Now, I'm going to see if there's any blue science. There is. She's got that blue science tag. The problem is I'd have to play her somehow to get that extra science tag out there, but find a person. Yeah. I mean, it's a free play, isn't it? I might as well. If the card was found in your reserve deck, discard it. You may refresh it. If you have an alien in play, which I don't, you gain 1 glory. Okay. So I'm going to play Porthos just to find her and add it to my hand. If I can somehow work out how to get her played to get this tag out here so I can then play Inspire to get that extra push on this track, that would be great. Reveal a card from your hand and put it on the top of your deck to gain a card of the same suit from the junk. Log the gained card. Okay, so actually, if there's a blue ribbon that I could add to log, I don't see anything though. I'm looking for anything with a blue ribbon on it. Okay, all right, then maybe I just look for the highest numbered score card, maybe. Although all of my cards are persons, so it would have to be a person, and it would be this one. I get 1 point for using her. Is it worth doing that? I don't think it is. I've got 3 actions. Okay, so definitely this one, probably this one. This one is just gain a, I need to keep this one in my hand if I'm going to use her, but I don't think I'm going to use her. Reveal a card from your hand to put it on top of your deck to gain a card of the same suit from the junk. Log the gain card. Yeah, there's nothing. These are all directives, so this isn't really helpful, but oh well. All right, let's play. Let's get this done. All right, let's just do that one. Draw 2 cards. Discard 1 of the drawn cards. Let's discard, let's see, ship, cargo. I'm going to discard analyze maybe to get to keep Red Squadron out there. And because I discarded this, I can add a resource here to Earth. After discarding a directive, blah, 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 exhausted. But now I can play him to draw 2 cards and discard 1 card. But let's just make sure. Gain on 1 specialty track. Science, yep, okay, so I need to see now the blues I have in play. I've got 1 there, I've got 1 there, and I've got there. So I've got 3 there. So I'm going to go up 3 on the science track. 1, 2, 3. And I'm up to ×4 now. I'd really like to get up to ×6 if I can swing it before the end of the game. That would really help me out. And then I'm going to play Red Squadron for free. Draw 2 cards, discard 1. You may beam a card from your staging area to a ship. You may warp a ship. I'm not going to do that. But I am going to draw 2 cards, 1 and 2. There's Shuttle Pod 1. I can use it to beam an await team there along with like Major Haze here can do that too. I think that's the way to go. I'm going to free play Malcolm Reed to gain 1 tactical, although I don't really see a reason for it. I don't think I have any red ribbon like scorecards. As much as I don't want to, let's do send an away team to a location. There. And that was 1 action. And then Shuttle Pod 1, send an away team to a location where you have a ship. You may either beam a card to a ship or recall a card. Yep, so we're going to do that as well. That was my last action, but now I've got everything I need to control this location. It has a blue ribbon on it for endgame scoring. I think that'll be really helpful. Problem is, now I don't have any actions for these, but that's okay because I'm trying to cycle through my deck as quickly as possible because these developments now, I have no more reserve cards, which is great. So I can start buying developments with the resources I have. So before I end my turn, is there anything that I missed over here that I could have done? Keep that where it is. Did that one. Nothing there. Nothing there. Activation. Discard a card to beam. Nope. I could, if she's not going to be useful, I can, as an activation, discard a card to beam a card here. Just to keep my deck thin, I think I'm going to discard this one to beam a card to the USS Pasteur. I know it has a blue symbol, but I don't think I'm ever going to use this. I could be wrong. I don't know. Yeah, so just to keep my deck thinner, I'm going to do that. And then what else can I do? That was an exhaust there. I could finally get Mayweather back. I mean, do I really want him? Select a ship and warp it. You may spend 2 dilithium to send an away team to its location. That's a lot of dilithium. Maybe I start getting that from my resupply step. Yeah, so maybe I take him back now so I can warp the Enterprise when I get it again at some point. Maybe I'll wait until I have the Enterprise in hand and then recall him and then warp it. I think that's the better play here. I don't need the gold press latinum that bad. Did I do this? Yep, she's exhausted. And if you have, that's the resupply, so I can't do anything there. All right, I think that's it. So that goes away. I'm back down to 3 actions, and that goes away there. All of these go away. Okay, these refresh, and Stardate card. So that is going to go on the Suliban just to keep things consistent. I want to junk the person. See if there's someone better I can get. No. I was hoping for more blue ribbons. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for those blue ribbons. Or whatever they're called. I call them ribbons because they look like ribbons. Okay, so we're moving on to discard and draw. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then for our 5th card, we can now buy something, finally. For Daniels, we have to have a Zindi in play, which we don't. Wow. 1 dilithium, 1 gold press latinum, have 5 different species logged. I don't think I have that many. No, I don't. I have Klingon. I have Augment. Can it be on the same card? Although I don't think Augment is a species. Klingon is, Transcendent, Bajoran, that's 3. I've got 3 cards logged, but not 5. So, yeah, 5 different species logged. Wow, okay. Daniels, no. Yeah, I need Zindi in play for that. Discard a card to send. Okay, I can afford Shran. I could do Shran. Discard a card to send a away team to a location. I'd have to have him as my duty officer though, and I really need that dilithium. I could discard Cargo to get dilithium faster than T'Pol ever could. That's a thought. But she's gaining me science right now. I'd rather keep doing that to get to the top. And then maybe I'll replace that out. Ambassador Saval has that blue ribbon on the bottom. I think he's going to be our guy. I have to exhaust Archer, though, to do that. Boy. Let's keep looking. Okay, I have 4 cards. Boom the Earth. No. No Zindi Council. No, okay. We're going to do Ambassador Saval for that blue ribbon down there. And that's going to cost us 3 dilithium. That's all 3 that we have. I want to keep my glory for endgame scoring. And we have to exhaust our captain, which is unfortunate. Now, if I draw Porthos, I can undo that because he can refresh. Now, that's going to go here, right? 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Okay. 5 cards. Okay. 3 actions. We're good there. Yep. I think we're good to move on. Resupply. We're going to resupply. That is, we can't resupply with Archer because he's exhausted. Or can we? I don't know. I think exhausting a captain does not affect the resupply. I think that's for activations and stuff. So I'm going to resupply. If you have a deployed ship, I have the Pasteur, and 3 resources or more at Earth, you can exhaust this card. No, he's already, never mind. That's the exception, I guess. So I can't do that. Resupply. I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to spend a glory to get back to dilithium. And then I'm going to spend a dilithium from her for the resupply step to gain a science. I gave up a science. I'm hoping that will pay off. I'm trying to get to that top as quickly as possible. Earth is going to stay the way it is. I think that's it for resupply. Control. We're going to gain, so Enterprise goes away. Away teams come back to Archer. And didn't I gain? Yeah, okay. So that goes back to, okay, so I got a new one out. Or no, this one comes to me. Yeah. So I'm going to move that here. And its control effect is no effect. But during resupply, I gain a dilithium. So that's actually helpful. That was Zahia, whatever. As a reaction after playing Utilize, you may put a person on top of your deck to duplicate Utilize's other play operation. I don't think I have Utilize, do I? I have something slightly different than that. Ooh, that's a good one. That has 2 blue tags on it. Okay. Well, the Enterprise is gone temporarily, so that goes into my discard pile. And that was control. Okay, now we move on to actions. Let's take a look at what we got. No Porthos from what I can see. I can exhaust my captain. Ah, crap. Look at the top 2 cards of your reserve deck. Put them on. Nope. So this is kind of a useless card for me right now. Yeah. Maybe I somehow get this card beamed somewhere because I'm not going to really search for any more NX-01s. I think Phlox is the only one that's left there, and I don't know if I need him or not. I mean, the Enterprise C is nice. Deploy this ship up to twice. Beam a card here or warp this ship. Exhaust this ship. Okay, I might do that, actually. Strange New Worlds. Maybe I use the Enterprise to, like, start getting Ryza and done. So maybe I'm going to do this. USS Enterprise C. Okay, so I'm going to deploy special. When enlisting this card, add 2 away teams from the supply to your captain. Okay, so I need to add 2 more away teams from Saval here. He has a special. But yeah, I'm going to do Enterprise C. I'm going to play that. And that was an action. And it says up to 2 things. Up to twice. Beam a card here or warp the ship. I'm going to warp it to Ryza because I intend to try and get that later with Strange New Worlds if I can swing it. I need an away team there. Select a control location. If there's an away team and a ship there, look at the top 2 encounters. Take 1. Yep, so that's something I'm going to be trying to do with the Enterprise C, I think. Just trying to log those with Strange New Worlds. If I can get an away team over there, that would be grand. Beam a card here or warp this ship. I'm going to beam Faith of the Heart here because to the ship because I'm not using it anymore. I'm not really using it. Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna put that there temporarily. Then I've got some actions left. I can play Saval. Scan for either a Vulcan or a Scientist. Draw a card. Scan for either Vulcan or Scientist. Do I really want to clog up my deck right now with him? I have him for this blue ribbon. I don't have him for other things. I'm tempted to find a way to beam him to... What if I beam him to, like, the Pasteur? Discard a card to beam a card here. I could beam Saval over there just to get him out of my hand. Activation. Discard a human or engineer to draw a cargo directive from your discard pile. Okay, I'm going to do that, actually. I'm going to activate... I'm going to activate T'Pol. Discard a human trip to get a directive or cargo from my discard pile. I'm going to get Inspire. And yeah, it's not Utilize, it's Inspire. They're two different cards. They do the Utilize and Inspire kind of do the same thing, but Inspire is slightly different. So I used T'Pol's ability to get Inspire back into my hand. I'm trying to push up that blue as much as possible. 1, 2... I'm assuming not from beamed cards. Yeah, excluding beamed cards. 1, 2... I could have sworn I had a third one somewhere. Maybe not. Oh, maybe it was the Enterprise, and it's right now it's gone. I need to get the Enterprise out. Scan for either Vulcan or Scientist. Draw a card. Well, maybe I play this one. Well, let's see if we can draw any more cards first. Scan for either a Vulcan or Scientist. Draw a card. Scan for either... Scanning would be like looking through here. Is there... we can try it, and then I can shuffle the deck, finally. Okay. Yeah, I guess we'll try this. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll play this. Scan for either Vulcan or a Scientist. So I don't see Vulcan or Scientist. I'm going to pick this pile and scan for it. Now scan is pick a column. New card from the market to the top of your draw deck or to the discard pile. Okay, so the first scan that we come across. So it's Vulcan or Scientist. So nope. Vulcan. Vice Admiral Pasalk. So right, second card. So yeah, we'll scan that one, I guess. And shuffle. He's 1 point, unfortunately, so maybe this didn't work out the way I wanted it to. But this would go on top of either my draw deck or the discard pile. Refresh a Starfleet and force your opponent to discard a card. If your opponent has an augment in play, repeat this and gain a glory. Resupply. You may discard a card, so I can make him my duty officer. Interesting. Special. While this card is in play, excluding beamed, your opponent cannot use reaction. This is more of a like an attack defense kind of thing, but it's still not bad. I can refresh my captain. Not sure why I would at this point, because resupply is now passed, so I really can't use my captain for very much right now. But yeah, this would go into my... I'm going to put it into my discard pile. And I have to shuffle that I think I have to shuffle that before drawing a card. Yeah. So this was, draw a card. So I already bought an enlistment there. I remember that. So I have to just draw one from here. All right. So just draw a card. Oh, Hoshi Sato. Okay. Wow. That was great luck. Find a card. I'm going to find the Enterprise. Find the Enterprise. Gimme. Find it. I found it. Okay, shuffle. Find the Enterprise. Now with my last... Oh, crap. I can't do both. I can't do both. Well, I might do this now and then just try and get it back later and then get the Enterprise out there. I wish I had the extra action to do both, but I don't think I do. Yeah, so we're going to play Inspire now. Draw 2 cards and discard 1 of the drawn cards. Let's get rid of Reed, because I'm not really using him. And gain 1 on the specialty track. So I'm looking for science. I got 1 science tag there. I've got 1 on, so it's only 2, 1, 2, but it's still, we're getting up there. Very slowly but surely, we're getting up there. Okay, I can free play. I can free play Red Squadron, draw 2 cards, discard 1. You may beam a card from your staging area to a ship. Can be this card if I wanted to. I might actually beam Soval from my staging area to a ship because I don't see myself using him that often. So I am going to draw 2 cards, discard 1 of them. Let's get rid of Haze. You may log a card from your hand or discard pile to gain all resources. Let's actually do that one, and I'll get rid of the shell pod. Okay, so what was I doing? Okay, so I'm going to, you may beam a card from your staging area to a ship. I'm going to beam him to the pastor. Again, it's just kind of sitting there, right? Did I do this? I did not. If you have a ship here, draw a card. Okay. I didn't deploy a ship. I didn't warp one, so that reaction would not have kicked in yet. I will exhaust this to draw a card. There's Tucker. But I don't think I have the actions to do much of anything. You may log a card from your hand or discard pile to gain all resources from the market. No, that sucks. Yeah, I'm just gonna probably get rid of, I'm just gonna discard these. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Instead of getting rid of, I need to send an away team somewhere. I guess I can do it with, I'll switch this out to Major Haze, I think. Or I'll switch this out to Shuttle Pod, because the Shuttle Pod does slightly more. And I'm going to keep most of my hand for the next turn so that I can get an away team here to get this done. I think I'm going to do that. But that was all 3 actions. I don't think I can do anything else. Mayweather is still out there. At some point, I should probably get him back. But for right now, you know, it is what it is. So I've got all these cards I couldn't use. I want to keep this one, and I think I'm going to keep the Enterprise as well to get that back out in case I get that Inspire back. So, but Trip is going to go into the discard pile while I keep these 3 cards. These are going to go here. These get refreshed. And maybe I'm missing stuff at this point, but you know, the game has gone on fairly long, so I'm going to make some mistakes here. Those go away. Okay, 3. So I'm going to take one from here, put it there, and then I'm going to get rid of the person and try and get more blue ribbons. Sarek, I mean, he's, oh wait. Oh, okay, he should not, this is a Kirk card. That should not be there. Okay, Ash Tyler. Okay, that's safe. There we go. Yeah, I'll fix that later. Sarek should not have been in that deck. Okay. Yeah, he looked, I'm like, that doesn't sound right, Sarek. He shouldn't be there. Okay. Place the Glory, got rid of a card, discard and draw. So I've got 3 that I'm keeping. I'm just going to draw 2. 1, 2. Okay. And resupply. We're going to move on to resupply. Okay. So resupply, if you have a ship deployed, which I do, 3 or more resources on Earth, I'm going to finally make use of this. I'm just going to take it. Exhaust this card to gain 3 resources. I'm pretty sure I don't need the captain for anything. Okay, so I'm going to exhaust the captain to do that. And now I've got more dilithium, thank goodness. Resupply. I'm going to spend a dilithium to move up the science track 1. I'm at 12. I need to get to 15. I think focusing on 1 track is the right move here. I think that's the right move. Hopefully. Okay, and then control, there's no control. Okay, analyze. Discard 2 cards to gain a cargo, nah. Incident to gain a ship, nah. Gain 2 dilithium. Let's see what else I got. I can log first contact to go through the allies. I could just gain the Suliban, gain 3 glory in the process, although the yellow ribbon isn't that great. Okay, let's do what I was going to do and then worry about the rest. I want to deploy this ship for Inspire, but let's get this done first. Shuttle pod. Send an away team to a location where you have a ship. So we're going to send an away team where I have the Enterprise C on Ryza. Before I do anything, I'm going to also... whoop, I just hit the camera. I did. My bad. I'm going to get him back. I'm going to recall him, and he goes into my hand, and I'm going to gain a gold press latinum for doing that. Okay. And because I think that location's going to go away anyway, I might as well get the gold press latinum out of him. Also, I can draw a card by exhausting this before I deploy any ships or warp them. I'm going to just draw a card from there. Recruit. Put a card on top of your deck to gain a person. Nah. Okay. Select a ship and warp it. Okay, so that was one action there. Now this is done. You may either beam a card to a ship or recall a card beam to a ship. I don't think I want to beam anything. Put a card on top. No. Is there anything I don't want? No. I mean, I don't think there's anything I don't want. So let's keep it like that. I'm then going to play Strange New Worlds. Select a controlled location, Ryza. If there is 1+ away team there and a ship there, look at the top 2 encounters, take one of them and return either one to the bottom of the deck. Log this card and gain a science. Okay, so let's look at the top 2 encounters and see what they are. Ooh, there's a blue ribbon there. I like that. Okay, so New Federation applicants or Species 10C. The game's kind of getting to the point where it's almost over to really use this, whereas getting blue ribbons, that's good. It's like a wild there. Take an incident to draw 2 cards. You may beam an incident to a deployed ship with a Starfleet to gain 1 glory, or I can return a beamed incident to refresh a location. I'm just going to take this encounter for the blue ribbon for endgame scoring. I don't think I'm going to go with, unless this is anything. Select a control location. For each trait and skill icon of the selected card has, find any card, except in reserve, then log the selected location. No. I'm just going to, I'm going to keep this one for the endgame scoring, that blue ribbon down there. So this is going to go back. And this is going to go into my hand, but I'd like to beam this card somewhere at some point. And that was my second action. And I also gain a science. Oops. Oh, yep. Okay, so I gain a science. I'm up to 13, which I just need one more inspire, really, to get that maxed out to 15. So I'm on the right track, I think. Slowly but surely we're getting there. So maybe the Enterprise getting that out there isn't as important as I thought it was, because I can just do it in one more inspire is all it's going to take. I don't want to use this person. I really don't. Can I free beam? Discard a card to beam a card here. Yes, I will discard. I kind of want that one. I can discard the Enterprise. I don't know. I mean, do I need the Enterprise at this point? Maybe to gain this 5-point location. That might be something to try and do before the end of the game hits. I mean, unless Hoshi comes up again at some point, I could find the Enterprise again. I'm not going to be able to do all of these. That's the problem. Let's just do, let's get rid of Recruit. Now, because I'm discarding Recruit, which is a directive, I get to put a resource on Earth and then exhaust it. And because I did that, I can beam a card. I'm going to beam this New Federation Applicants card to the Pasteur there. Now, I'm wondering, should I be beaming them to Earth at this point? I mean, is it worth it? I mean, actually, no, because technically these are still in play. So this actually jibes with Jonathan Archer. So I need to have a ship out here just filled with people. Just keep beaming people to a ship, and that's sitting here at this repair station. So as long as I don't, do the wrong order here, I just keep piling people onto this ship, and then at the end of the game, getting points from it. So that was, I exhausted that there. And did I do this already? Discard a human. I could discard Mayweather to draw a directive from your discard pile. Don't I have Inspire in here? I do. I'm going to discard Mayweather to the top of that deck there. Discard Mayweather. Am I out of... I'll get one from the box. There we go. Nope. There we go. Discard a human, which I discarded Mayweather, to draw a directive. So I draw Inspire. And I can play that now. Draw 2 cards and discard one of the drawn cards. Okay, so draw 2 cards. 1, 2. I will discard... let's get rid of Porthos because I don't know at this point. I'd like to use this to possibly start getting developments that are worth a lot of points. So I want to try and use that as well with the resources I've got left. But now I can go up the science track 1, 2 times. So let's go 1. Okay, so we're maxed out on science. I remember having a yellow card, I think. I don't remember what cards I have at this point. I don't think I have any red. I'm going to try and get my yellow up to ×2 if I can from here on out, but I don't know if that's really worth it. I could free play, draw a directive, encounter from your discard pile. I don't think... I might want to hold on to this and then buy a development with this. You may enlist a reserve or a development. Yeah, so I think I might want to do that. Oh, I forgot to do the rest of this. I'm sorry. So the way this works is this should have gone away, right? Ryza should have been logged at this point with Strange New Worlds. So that is now logged. Okay, so that's gone. And I can sort of move these up a little bit. Although Ryza had a yellow symbol on it, didn't it? It did. So, oh well, maybe I should have probably tried to go after that one, but at that point I didn't have that there. That's okay. And that ship is still technically there. And the Enterprise C is now gone, so these are over here. Okay. Can I free play anything else? I can free play this just to gain 2 dilithium. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to free play that one. Gain 2 dilithium. That will help me afford more developments when it's time to do that. And then, yeah, the Enterprise, do I actively try and get that back out, or do I spend my actions to focus on getting Inspire for yellow and possibly maybe I do, because I need to get more points from locations. So maybe I do keep this in my hand. Mayweather can... Oh, Mayweather's gone. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we'll keep these 2 so I can buy development and warp the ship on my next turn. So I'm going to keep those 2. Okay. All right. And then this one's going to go away. Is there anything else here that I could have done that I didn't do? After playing Utilize, that's never going to happen. Nope. Okay. So all of these will refresh. Okay. And these go here. And what am I missing? Resolve start date. We're down to 1 on there. Suliban. Let's go with that one. If I can get that ally with 4 glory on it, I think that'll be helpful. And I get to junk a card. Let's get rid of Ash here. And again, I'm actively going after blue ribbons. Oh, there's a red one. If I can get it and then log it, that would be good. But I don't think it's going to happen. I can get it, then beam it to the Pasteur for more points. Because technically it's Andorian and Orion all at the same time. So that would be traits that, you know, score 1 for every 3 unique traits you have in play. Yeah, so that would count toward that, which isn't bad. Okay. Okay, so I did that. And then I have to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, and then development. Okay. And again, I didn't need to shuffle this yet because this comes from here technically. As far as I know. I would like to get this. Have 5 different species logged. 5 different species logged. I have Klingon, Transcendent, Bajoran, and that's all I have. So actually this Andorian, if I log that, I could get that. And this is that's just an extra blue, yellow, and red ribbon down there. So that's actually not bad. But in the meantime, I can enlist something else. Is there a blue? No. Discard. I need to have 4 cards beam to Earth, which I do not have. I can go yellow and really try to get a secondary score on that. My red is actually higher than yellow at the moment, but yeah, I don't have any Zindi in play. Shran is really the only thing. Yeah, let's go with Shran. So we're going to pay 2 gold press latinum, 2 of that, and I gain Shran. Okay. Ultimately, I do want... I think getting this Founding the Federation is going to be big. So I need to get this card, and I need to log it. I think that's going to be what I need to do with that. Okay. Resupply. If you have deployed ship, I do, but I don't have enough resources to make use of that. I'm going to give up a dilithium to push... Oh no, that's just science. So I'm just going to use her to gain dilithium at this point. I don't see any... I could replace her with Shran maybe on a future turn. Although being able to discard a card to then draw a directive or a cargo from your discard pile, I think is super helpful too. Let's get the Enterprise out there, but let's see if I can free play it first. Draw a directive or encounter from your discard pile. You may enlist a reserve or development. I wanted to do that, but I don't think I have the resources for it yet. Can I get a person? Vulcan. Refresh a Starfleet and force opponent to... I just want to get him somewhere else. Shran. Scan for either Andorian or weapon. Draw a card. Activation. Discard a card to send an away team to a location. If the discarded card is a directive or a cargo, gain 2 dilithium. Oh, I get to add 2 more away teams to the supply from him. So now I've got 6 away teams, which is great now. I've got the Vulcans and the Andorians on my side. This guy's useless, I think. I think he is going to belong here. He's got that Vulcan on it, and I don't think I've got Vulcan in there as a logged thing. So I think I want to try and log him. Now, I forget which cards do that, to be honest. I don't remember which cards log. No. After discarding a directive during your... Cards beamed here cannot be recalled or dismissed. But, yeah. So I'm going to put this on top as a reminder. I need to get 5 different species logged. That's what I need to do. I need to get 5 different species logged to get that card. It's an extra blue ribbon. 1 of each ribbon, actually, I think. I'm going to have to see if that's like you pick or like it's all. I think you pick, but I'm going to have to like look at the rulebook to make sure. How can I log him? Deploy this ship. You may exhaust a duty officer to warp this ship. You may discard a human or an engineer, which I have neither in my hand. Yeah, his play effect, scan for either an Endorian or a weapon, draw a card. I mean, at this point, I don't want any more cards. I need to get, like, if I can log these two, that would solve my problem. Or if I can get him and log that card, that would solve my problem. So maybe I keep these around somehow. I could have sworn I had cards that logged, but I don't remember where they are. They're probably in. Let me check my discard pile. Nope. 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 Exhaust your captain. Look at the top. Nope. Could have sworn there was a log in here somewhere. You may warp a ship. Hoshi, nope. Gain a cargo from the top. Oh, it's a cargo. Nah. Me log a card from your hand. Okay, so it's going to be Major Haze. I need to get Major Haze out here as often as I can to get these cards logged to Archer. But if there's a way to get him into my hand, get this card, and then do that, that would be good. Is there a way to get a person? I think I have a way to get a person in there as well. Actually, scan for either Endorian or a weapon. Draw a card. Okay, well, we're going to do that. We're going to play Shran. He is Endorian. He is part Endorian, Orion. We're going to do that, and we're going to scan for it. We're going to put that in... I think I'm going to put that in my hand and hold on to it until I get Haze back. So I'm going to just... put it in my draw pile, and then it says draw a card. So I just draw the card that I just put into my draw pile. That's one action. I'm going to keep this around. And then if I can log him, that would... And then get this. I need to find a way to do all of that. It's going to be crazy. Strength of the Soul will let me do that. I need to keep this. At this point... draw a card or warp a ship or exhaust your captain, do both. You may spend one. Okay, let's get the Enterprise out here. I don't think there's a way to get... Yeah, so we're going to get the Enterprise back out. Okay, and that's going to cost an action to do. Deploy this ship. You may exhaust a duty officer to warp this ship. I would love to discard a human or an engineer, but I can't do it. Discard a human or engineer. Yeah, I'm going to have to wait. I'm hoping that I can get the right cards for the next couple of rounds to get this all done. Okay, so I'm going to get the Enterprise back, and I can exhaust my duty officer to warp this ship. Unless there's a way to draw a card... I need to keep this so I can get an enlistment. So I can't get rid of this, and I can't get rid of this because I need to log it. So yeah, so I'm just going to warp. I'm going to come here. I'm going to exhaust to Paul to warp the Enterprise there, and then I'm going to play Reach Any Star. It's a free play. Ooh. Take an incident to draw the top location and take control of it? That's crazy. I mean, that's not bad. I don't want an incident, not really. I mean, I suppose I can do that with my extra action. I mean, I've got the extra. Why don't we do that? But you may spend one dilithium to send an away team where you have a ship. Do I want to do that or just draw one and just log it? I mean, I can either play this for free to get an away team onto this location, or I can play it as an action to take an incident, but then I could probably, whatever comes up, I can use my remaining action. Actually, no, I don't have any more actions left. I only have 3. Yeah, all right. I'm just going to free play it. Draw a card, or warp a ship, or exhaust your captain. Well, at this point, I'm going to draw a card. And just draw a card. Okay, so I've got Red Squadron, which is actually not bad. Okay, I can spend a dilithium to beam an away team to a location where you have a ship. There. Okay. I'm going to play Red Squadron for free. Actually, do I have 3 to... I do not. Dang. Draw 2 cards and discard 1 of the drawn cards. You may beam a card from your staging area to a ship. Can be this card. You may warp a ship. Okay, so I'm going to play that for free. Draw 2 cards, 1 and 2. There's Mayweather. I can free play him, select a ship and warp it. I guess I can just warp it right back to where it is, I think. You may spend 2 dilithium to send an away team to its location. I can also exhaust my captain, which I might just do, to send an away team to that location. So I'm going to exhaust my captain to send an away team to that location. This is a free play, so I'm just going to put that there. And then I guess I'll discard recruit because I'm not going to use it. And because I discarded a directive, I get to put a resource on Earth and exhaust it. Okay. And then I still have 1 action left. Refresh a Starfleet and force your opponent to discard a card. Refresh a Starfleet. Refresh a Starfleet. What would I refresh? Discard a human. I can't do that. Refresh a Starfleet. Refresh a Starfleet. This is a free attack play. Ideally, I'd rather just move a card. I want to get this card out. I don't want this card. Refresh a Starfleet. I could, well, is there anything I can do with this? Beam a card here. Maybe I just activate this, spend the dilithium, and beam this guy out. Because if your opponent has an augment in play, here's the thing. I mean, my opponent typically has 1 of everything. I can repeat, but does he have a card? Can I force him to discard a card? He doesn't have any cards. See, this gets a little iffy for me. I don't know if I would be able to get this glory or not. But I'm just going to actually spend the dilithium, which I just did, to beam him to the Pastor. Is that how? No. I'm going to beam him to the Enterprise. Yeah, because I spent the dilithium to do that. I don't want to discard any of my cards, so I had to beam him. Okay, that's good enough. And then I've got these 2 cards, and I need to get like certain cards to work because I need to log this one here and then play this one to get this. So it's going to be tight. I don't know if it's going to be good or not, but I still have 1 action left. Well, I guess we'll just keep this moving. Yeah, we'll just keep this moving. So we're going to clean up here and refresh here and here and here and here. All right, great. And these clean up. Great. And now I have to draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right, I'll look at this in a minute, but let's move on to the next round. Or first we have to do this. Last one. So I'm going to put that on the Suliban here and bring that down. And yeah, I get 1 more turn after this, I think. Okay, so I think this is my last turn. Coming up is my last turn. Let's hope it works. So from a resupply standpoint, I get to remove something. I'm going to remove that. Yeah, okay. Resupply, no. Gain a dilithium. I just gain a dilithium. That's fine. Resupply, gain a dilithium. I might have missed that before. Okay. And I think that's all the resupplying I can do. Okay. Then controlling. I get to control this location. So this Tanuga 4, you may spend 3 dilithium to scan for either a scientist or a weapon. I'm going to not do that, I think. But I'm going to put that like over here. I've got so much going on. Okay, and then these away teams come away. The Enterprise goes away as well. Oh, okay, well, I won't have that Vulcan in play for the endgame scoring, but that's okay. All right, so the new location comes out, and I think that's it. Okay, so moving on to actions. Porthos, find a person. If I can find Major Hayes and then... Okay, I think I got it. So I'm going to go ahead and do play. I'm going to find Major Hayes. There he is. Find Major Hayes. And if the card was found in your reserve deck, no, you may refresh your captain. If you have... okay, well, he's not exhausted. If you have an alien in play, which... Dear Lord, I don't think I have any aliens whatsoever. Ambassador, Starfleet, yep, okay. I'm just going to say I don't. So I'm just going to keep him there. Now I've got Hayes. You may log a card from your hand or discard pile to gain all the resources. Yeah, so I can free play this. You may log a card from your hand. Okay, I'm going to log him. He's got Endorian and Orion, which are two different species there. And doing that, I can now gain all the resources from a card in the market. And I can junk a card in the market. So I get 5 glory from the Suliban card over here. And then I'm going to get rid of him and put a new one out. Okay. No blue ribbons, unfortunately. Not bad. I still have 3 actions to go. Enterprise C to deploy this ship. I need to get this, right? That's why I kept this. Okay, so I'm going to, you may enlist a reserve or development. Okay, so I'm going to 1 dilithium, 1 gold press latinum, and have 5 different species logged. And I get to enlist that. That goes into my hand. Just to make sure I've got 5, I've got Endorian, Orion, Bajoran, Transcendent, Klingon. That's 5. Okay. 5 different species logged. That's great. And that was 1 action. I can take an incident and exhaust your captain to draw a card for every 2 control locations. No, I'm not going to do that. Okay, so what's left? Enlist your entire reserve deck with this card. I don't have any. Gain all resources from Earth. You may beam up to 3 allies from your log to Earth. For each card beamed this way, you may find and return an incident. Oh, wow. Okay, I can get rid of that incident that logged, I think. Let's try that. All right, hold on. Enlist your entire... Now, if I find an incident, can I find it in my log? It says I can beam up to 3 allies from your log to Earth. For each card beamed this way, you may find and return an incident. Okay, I don't think I can find cards in my log, unfortunately. No. I was hoping to like beam the incident out and then yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. So forget that. It was a cool thought though. Faith of the heart. You know what? Let's exhaust your captain to search for an NX-01 for the purposes of maybe Dr. Phlox has some points on him that I can easily make use of. So I'm just going to free play him, find an NX-01 in this deck. There he is, Doctor. He's 1 point. No ribbons, unfortunately, but yeah, he's NX-01. So I find him, and he is on top of my reserve deck. Okay. I don't know if there was a better... I don't think there's NX-01 anywhere else, to be honest with you. I'm not sure. I can play the Enterprise. Again, I don't know why I would do that. Just action, Enterprise C. I can warp this ship and then exhaust this ship. Beam a card here. Yeah, I'm just going to warp it. I do get a point for every token I have, so I might as well just free warp it for that point. I'll put it out here, whatever. and beam a card here if I want to, which I'm not going to. I don't think I need to. Spend a dilithium to warp, discard a card to beam a card here, dismiss the ship and discard a card to gain a glory in action and recall a non-time travel card from your staging area. I could probably do something with that, but I don't think I'm gonna. So maybe there was a way to make use of that ability to then somehow get, I don't know. To keep the video moving, I'm just going to end it there, I think. There's nothing else I can really do. I can gain a dilithium with her. I can, I mean, yeah, I don't think, oh, I think I already did that. That was her resupply. Yeah, at this point, my mind is jelly, so I think this is going to be a good stopping. I could have drawn a card. I should have done that first before deploying the Enterprise, so I'll just retcon it and say that I did. That way that reaction doesn't kick in, and then I lose a card. I get this. All right, well, I'll play it. Scan 2 of ally, log this card. I'm going to scan 2, and which one am I going to want? The red ribbon? Or the 3 points, or the yellow ribbon. This is ×1, this is ×1. I think 3 points is safer. So I think I'm gonna just take the 3 points. I think that's safer. So I'm going to log this card. Scan 2. So I'm just gonna put that on top of my deck. Log this card there. Okay, and now I'm done. And I drew that because it was this automated repair station thing. I was going to draw a card, then deploy the Enterprise C. I did it in the wrong order, but I caught myself and fixed it after the fact. Expect these things 2 hours into a video, folks. Anyway, I think this is where I just throw my hands up and go to final scoring. So yeah, let's just go ahead and cut the video here, and I'll get back to you. All right, so final score, I actually did better than the Kirk one. Speaking of the Kirk one that I did a couple days ago, this 80 is not correct. I actually did an extra round by accident, so I scored less than 80 for the Kirk deck. I have some of the rule goofs in the pinned comment on that video. Anyway, Archer. So I got 9 glory points for the glory tokens there. 1 token out here, the Enterprise C. 6 points for unique traits and stuff in play. It was 1 point for every 3 unique traits you have in play. I had a bunch of stuff in play, so I got 6 points from that. I got 23 points from all of these point cards, minus the 2 from that one incident. 48 for the side. That was the biggie. 48 for this. I looked it up. It is best focus. And it's called focus, not ribbon. So yeah, best focus. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards here. 8 times 6 is 48. So I had 48 points. That was great. And then I only had 2 yellow, 2 times 1, which, yeah, 2 times 1 is 2. And then 1 times 1 is 1. So I got 90 points there. I think 100 is still proficient, and 70, at least I got over 75 this time, fingers crossed, in case, unless I did something completely wrong. But yeah, I feel like I did better with Archer than I did with Kirk. And it's weird because Archer has a higher complexity. But now I'm actually seeing the difference here with the Archer deck. Like, the Archer deck starts off so small, and you have to recruit the NX people from the people deck. It's weird. I like how each captain has a different way of playing, but each one has a learning curve. So it's like, you might come back to this game, going, yeah, I know how to play it, and then you completely bomb out on a captain you've never played before, because like when I get to Khan, I can only imagine how bad my score is going to be, because his complexity is like 9 or 10 or something like that. But anyway, that was Star Trek Captain's Chair to Boldly Go. Well, this is Vince. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you all next time. Take care.